students. Good morning everyone. So in the last class we have discussed the theory of attributes and different terms in that. So we have studied what is a class frequency, and what is the order of a class. So class means the attributes itself or the combination of an attribute itself is called a class, and number of persons possessing that attribute or the combination of attribute or the number of persons having that class is called class frequency. Similarly, we have seen order of a class. So we have seen the order is 3 by 3 power n. So whenever you have the order, depending on order, you will get the number of frequencies. So we have seen that one, and we have also seen the contingency tables for the 2 attributes and 3 attributes. So depending on that contingency table, we have written the relationship between the class frequencies. So relationship between class frequencies means you are expressing the one class frequency in terms of the other class frequencies. So by understanding the contingency table, you can write the relationship well. You have to remember all those class frequencies according to the number of attributes. Now in today's class, we will be seeing the next definition, that is ultimate class frequency. So our next definition is ultimate class frequency. So we already know what is class frequency, right? So what is class frequency? Class frequencies are always denoted with the bracket letters for any class. If I consider the class A, the class frequency is given as the brackets, that is number of values possessing that class frequency. Now, ultimate class frequency means in a dichotomous classification. So in a dichotomous classification. So what is dichotomous classification? So here, if I consider any attributes, that attributes I'm dividing into the positive classes and the negative classes. So we are dividing our attributes into 2 classes, that is positive and negative. So that classification or the division of the attributes is considered as a dichotomous classification. So in a dichotomous classification of the units, that means that is the attributes, the classes of highest order, the classes of highest order are called the ultimate classes. So if you have any class, so in the combination, whatever the highest order you have, that attribute, that combinations or that classes are called the ultimate classes. Suppose if I take 2 attributes, that is A, B. What are the different classes I can write from this? I can write A, B, alpha, beta, and similarly I can write AB, A beta, alpha B, and alpha beta. So if I consider 2 attributes, what is the highest class frequencies here? What are the class frequencies of highest order? If you observe, in this line I have written all the class frequencies of order 1. Here only order 1 is there because there is only one class, that is A, B, alpha, beta. So here if you consider the class frequencies, what we have written 2 classes, that is A, B, A beta. So this is one class. A, B is one class which is having 2 attributes. So here the order is 2. So here we have 2 order. So if you compare which classes or which class frequencies are having the higher order, these class frequencies, all these 4 class frequencies have the highest order. Here the 4 class frequencies are having the highest order, that is 2. So whenever you consider 2 attributes, the highest order of class I get as 2, right? So what are the different classes here? Here the classes means AB, A beta, alpha B, and alpha beta Next, similarly, you will get the second order also in this. For second order also you will get some, that is AB, A beta, alpha B, alpha beta, AC, alpha C, BC, beta C. So these are the different combinations I am getting for second order. Similarly, I will be having the third order also. So if I consider the third order, that means in my class I should have 3 attributes. So what are the different combinations I am going to get here? First, ABC, A beta, C. Similarly, next is alpha BC, alpha beta C. So next I will be getting as AB gamma, next combinations AB gamma and A beta gamma, next alpha beta, alpha B gamma and alpha beta gamma. If you observe, these are the third order class frequencies which I am going to get for the 3 attributes. If you observe, what is the highest order here? This is the highest order. The third order is the highest order for the 3 attributes. So in this highest order, how many class frequencies I am getting? Count it. So I got total 8 class frequencies. So these 8 class frequencies are called the ultimate class frequencies. So whatever the highest order class frequencies you have, that are called the ultimate class frequencies. So what is ultimate class frequency? The class frequencies of the highest order are called the ultimate class frequencies, and the corresponding classes are called the ultimate classes. If you observe here, for 2 attributes you got 4 ultimate class frequencies. For 3 attributes you got the 8 ultimate class frequencies. So in general, if you have n attributes, so whenever you have n attributes, so number of ultimate class frequencies you will be getting as number of ultimate class frequencies are 2 power n. So here, if you consider what is the n value here, 2 attributes means n equals to 2. So 2 square is 4. So you got total 4 class frequencies, that is 4 ultimate class frequencies. Similarly here, what is the n value? Here I have considered n equals to 3. So 2 power 3 is 8. You got 8 class ultimate class frequencies. So this is about the ultimate class frequency, that is in a dichotomous classification, the classes of the highest order are called the ultimate classes and the corresponding frequencies are called the ultimate class frequency. So whenever you have n attributes, the number of ultimate class frequencies are 2 power n. So for 2 attributes you will get 4 ultimate classes, and similarly for the 3 attributes you will get 8 ultimate classes. Now we will see the next definition. So next we will be seeing the class operator definition. So next definition is class symbols as operators. Class symbols dichotomizing n with the any attribute is called the symbolic algebra. So what is dichotomizing here? Dichotomizing means combining of an attributes. So dichotomizing means combining of attributes is called dichotomizing. So if you have suppose A, B. So you are combining the two attributes and writing as AB, right? So that is called dichotomizing here. So here you are combining the attributes is called dichotomizing. So whenever you combine the any attribute with capital N, that is a population size, that is called a symbolic algebra. So whenever you combine your n or dichotomize n with any attribute, it gives the corresponding class frequency. So that means if we are combining n with any attribute, it gives its class frequency. Suppose if I consider attribute A. So I am combining A with n, that is A into n. You can just symbolically you can think A into n, but you have to say A in n equals to, if you are dichotomizing n with the attribute A, that can be written as the class frequency of A. So class frequencies always should be written in the brackets only. So whenever you combine the n with any attribute, it gives its class frequency. So this is about the symbolic algebra. Now we'll see the symbolic algebra's conditions. So if I consider dichotomizing n with, so first I will consider one attribute, dichotomizing n with the attribute A. So here if I consider only one attribute, what I can get? A into capital N equals to the class frequency of A. Similarly, for A, we will be having the complementary attribute also. So what is the complementary attribute of A? Alpha. So similarly, if you write alpha into n, you will be getting the class frequency of alpha. So this is called the dichotomizing of n with an attribute. Suppose here I am considering A plus alpha. So that means I am considering the addition of the A and alpha. So if I consider A into n plus alpha into n. So I am just considering A into n plus alpha into n. So if I consider A into n means it is nothing but class frequency of A plus alpha into n means it is the class frequency of alpha. So this can be written as A class frequency of A plus class frequency of alpha. Now if you observe, from these two terms I am taking common as n, so that I can write A plus alpha into n equals to, so from the relationship we know that class frequency of A plus alpha is always equals to capital N. So since A plus alpha, an attribute plus its complementary attribute is always equals to capital N. So if you observe here, n and n gets cancelled, you will be getting as A plus alpha equals to 1. So from this equation I can write alpha equals to 1 minus A. So why we will be using this symbolic algebra means to express the negative classes. So what are the complementary attributes are called the negative classes, right? So express this negative classes in terms of the positive classes. So here A is a positive class. So here I am expressing a negative class in terms of a positive class. So for that purpose, we will be using the symbolic algebra. So you can write like this, or you can also write as A equals to 1 minus alpha. You can write either alpha equals to 1 minus A or A equals to 1 minus alpha. So this is called the symbolic expression, and thus it is used to express the negative classes in terms of positive classes. So here I took only one attribute. Suppose if I consider any class frequency of second order, suppose, and similarly I consider, so here I want to consider of order 2. I am taking a negative class, that is alpha, beta. So here I am considering the class frequency alpha, beta. So how can you write class frequency here in terms of n? That is by using dichotomizing. You can write alpha, beta into capital N. So what is alpha? Alpha is 1 minus A. Similarly, if you consider the B attribute, if you consider B, what will you get? 1 minus beta, right? So same attribute in place of A, if you consider the attribute B, its complementary is beta. So you will get B equals to 1 minus beta. Or beta equals to, which implies that beta equals to 1 minus B, because we will express negative in terms of positive classes. Now here alpha beta value I am writing as alpha beta into capital N. What is alpha value? 1 minus A, and what is beta value? 1 minus B into capital N. So these are the negative classes. Now I have converted into positive classes. So multiply these two terms, what will you get? 1 into 1 is 1 minus A minus B plus AB into capital N. Excuse me. Now multiply this capital N inside, what will you get? 1 into capital N minus A into capital N minus B into capital N plus AB into capital N. And we know that dichotomizing N means if you multiply any attribute with N, that is dichotomizing N with any attribute, it gives us class frequency. So what can you write here? Alpha beta is equals to 1 into N is N minus class frequency of A minus class frequency of B plus class frequency of AB. So this is the expression, the negative attributes, the negative classes. These two are, this is the negative class, right? Alpha, beta. So this negative class I am expressing in terms of all positive classes. Here A, B and AB are all the positive classes, right? So in this way you can express the negative classes in terms of positive classes. Now I have shown you for considering two attributes of order 2. Now we'll see for order 3 also how we can dichotomize with N to get the positive attributes or the positive classes. How to express the negative classes in terms of the positive classes. Now I am considering order 3. Of order 3 I am considering a class frequency as AB gamma. AB gamma. So here if you observe, for order 3, 2 are positive, 1 is negative. So when this can be written as AB gamma into capital N. So AB you write as it is because they are positive classes only. And what is gamma? Gamma is a negative class. So gamma is nothing but 1 minus C. If you have, here also you will be getting the condition C plus gamma equals to 1. C is a positive attribute, alpha is its complementary. So C plus alpha equals to 1. Now similarly into capital N, right? Now if you multiply these terms, what you will get? AB minus ABC capital N. Now multiply these terms, these classes with capital N, that is dichotomizing with N, so that A, B, gamma class frequency equals to AB into capital N minus ABC into capital N. So whenever you dichotomize with N, what you will get? Its class frequency. So this will become class frequency of AB minus class frequency of ABC. So whenever you have a negative class in this AB gamma, here you have a negative class, that is gamma. So that we have expressed in terms of the all positives only. So this is expressing of this one. And I will show one more thing. Here we have two positive and one negative, right? So if we have two negatives and one positive, that is alpha, beta, C. So if we consider alpha, beta and C, that is two negatives and one positive, that is equals to, this can be written as alpha, beta, C into capital N. So just for differentiating, I am writing into like this brackets, because these brackets indicates the class frequencies. So write carefully. So what is alpha? 1 minus A into 1 minus B into C. Multiply these terms. You will be getting as 1 minus A minus B plus AB into C into capital N. Now multiply C into capital N again inside. You will be getting as C into N minus AC into N minus BC into N plus ABC into capital N. Now after dichotomizing, what you will get? Alpha, beta, C equals to C into N is class frequency of C plus AC into N is, minus AC into N is the class frequency of AC. Similarly, minus BC into N is the class frequency of BC plus ABC into N is the class frequency of ABC. So this is the dichotomizing of N with the different attributes, so that we can express the negative attributes in terms of positive attributes. So symbolic algebra, remember it, we will be using in the different concepts also. So whenever you find multiplying N with any class, you have to write its class frequency. So this is about symbolic algebra. Now we'll see a small theorem related to attributes. So it's a very easy theorem. We will be using mathematical induction in this. Now we'll see the theorem. So coming to the theorem, read the statement. For n attributes, show that the class frequency of A1, A2, so on An is greater than or equals to the class frequency of A1 plus class frequency of A2 plus so on the class frequency of An minus n minus 1 into capital N. So what is capital N here? The overall population size, and small n is the number of attributes. So this theorem we are going to prove by using the mathematical induction. We prove this theorem by using mathematical induction. So what is mathematical induction? Hope you all remembered, we have done the theorems using mathematical induction in the previous sems also. What is mathematical induction? We will be having three cases. In the first case, we will prove the theorem is true for two events. Next, we will assume the theorem is true for n equals to r events. Similarly, by using the first and second conditions, we will prove that the theorem is true for r plus 1 events. So whenever it is true for two r and r plus terms, it is true for attributes are A1 and A2. So if I consider two attributes A1 and A2, what are its complementary? With complementary attributes. So for A1, the complementary will be alpha 1, and for A2, the complementary will be alpha 2. Now, let us consider, let alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 1 into alpha 2 is greater than or equals to 0. So always the class frequency indicates the number of values, right? So it can never be negative. It is always greater than or equals to 0 only. Now, how can I write this alpha 1, alpha 2 class frequency? By using the symbolic algebra, I can write it as alpha 1, alpha 2 into capital N is greater than or equals to 0. So I can express it by using the symbolic algebra. So what is alpha 1? It is 1 minus A1 into 1 minus A2 into capital N is greater than or equals to 0. Now multiply these two terms, what will you get? 1 minus A1 minus A2 plus A1 A2 is into capital N is greater than or equals to 0. Now multiply N inside, what will get? N minus A1 into capital N minus A2 into capital N plus A1 A2 into capital N is greater than or equals to 0. If you observe, what you will get? N minus A1 into capital N can be written as class frequency of A1 plus minus A2 into capital N can be written as A2 class frequency plus A1 A2 into capital N can be written as A1 A2 class frequency greater than or equals to 0. Now if you observe, I put only these two terms here and send the remaining terms to the right hand side. So what I get? A1 A2 is greater than or equals to, this minus A1 comes to that side, plus A1 plus A2, this plus N comes to that side, minus N. So this can be written as A1 A2 is greater than or equals to A1 plus A2 minus 2 minus 1 into capital N. So 2 minus 1 is nothing but capital N itself. So whenever I consider two attributes, compare with the statement, if you have two attributes, those two attributes combination here, then addition of two attributes plus N minus 1. Here what is the N value? N I have considered 2, right? So 2 minus 1 into capital 1. So therefore, the theorem is true for N equals to 2. The theorem is true for N equals to 2 attributes. Now we got the theorem is true for N attributes. Now next what we have to do, let us assume that the theorem is true for R attributes. Next is, let us assume the theorem is, so keep this one as equation 1. The theorem is true for R attributes. So in place of the statement itself, in place of N, you substitute R value, you will be getting as A1, A2, so on, AR is greater than or equals to A1 plus A2 plus so on plus AR. Next value is minus R minus 1 into capital N. So keep it as equation 2. Now consider n equals to r plus 1. If you consider r plus 1 terms, what you will get? a1, a2, so on, ar plus 1. This is greater than or equals to, you will be getting as a1 plus a2. If you can, we will be using here the conditions or equations 2 and equations 3. So this one, if you consider compare with equation 2. So whatever we have considered n equals to r, if you compare with equation 2, up to here you consider as a1 suppose, and up to here you consider as a2. So if you consider this as a1 and this as a2, by comparing with equation 1, what you will get? First you will write a1 value, that is a1, a2, so on ar. So up to ar it is a1 value plus here you have a1 plus a2. So write a2 value is ar plus 1. Next you have minus capital N. So minus capital N. This is using equation 1. So don't forget this up to r we have considered as one variable and r plus 1 as other variable. So next what we do is, this value is greater than or equals to, not equals to, greater than or equals to that value. Now by using the equation 2, if you observe this value a1, a2, so on up to ar, this is nothing but the equation 2 value. So by using equation 2, this value is greater than or equals to, substitute equation 2 value, that is a1 plus a2 plus so on plus ar minus r minus 1 into capital N. So up to here we have substituted. Next plus ar plus 1 value you have as it is. So ar plus 1 minus capital N. This is by using equation 2. If you use equation 2, we got this terms. Now write all the attributes to one side. This is greater than or equals to a1 plus a2 plus so on plus ar plus plus 1, and the remaining terms, if you observe these two terms n and r minus 1 into n. From this you can take out n common, right? So if you minus, you take n common, you will get r minus 1 plus 1 into capital N. So this can be written as, this is greater than or equals to a1 plus a2 plus so on plus ar plus 1 minus, this can be written as r plus 1 minus 1 into capital N. So what is there in the LHS? You will be having a1, a2, so on up to ar plus 1 is greater than or equals to, write this value, that is a1 plus a2 plus so on up to ar plus 1 minus r plus 1 minus 1 into capital N. Now if you observe, compare it with our equation. If you compare with the statement, you have r plus 1 terms. N terms means up to r plus 1 terms you have. Here n value is r plus 1. So up to r plus 1 you have to get the sums, that is a1, a2, a1 plus a2 plus up to ar plus 1 minus, you have to get n minus 1. In place of n what we have? r plus 1. So n minus 1, that is r plus 1 minus 1 into capital N. So therefore the theorem is true for, therefore it is true for n equals to r plus 1. So by using mathematical induction, the theorem is true for n equals to 2, n equals to r and n equals to r plus 1. Hence the statement is true So first we will take two values and we'll assume for r, next we will consider r plus 1. So write the theorem carefully. If you get any doubts, you can ask me in our live class.